I got laid off. At 37, I was laid off, gripping my thighs hard, trying to hold back tears.
我感觉我这个大学白读了。平复了一下心情，然后来录这条视频。最近一直找工作，就真的找不到工作，但我又需要吃饭，需要活下去。然后
On November 29th, 2023, and the boss is sitting beside me, expressing helplessness. He mentions that November is the toughest month of the year. Taking our company as an example, the orders we've taken have been drastically reduced. I feel that the domestic market is shrinking, and international conflicts are escalating, leading to a worsening economic situation. As a company manager, we should set corresponding policies to get through these difficult 2 months. Currently, we've signed the first contract of this month. The price is not high, and the profit is too low. However, with low profits, we have to keep the cash flow going to pay salaries on time. Let's not ask for too much. If the company can survive, the employees can also get by peacefully. A lady shares her story saying, "At 37, I was laid off, gripping my thighs hard, trying to hold back tears. This is probably the last stubbornness after being exhausted. It wasn't very surprising, seemingly ordinary, yet extremely unusual." Facing parents who think their children have no skills, they couldn't argue with them. Being unemployed in middle age, life feels a bit blurry. On the 8th day of unemployment in Shanghai's Nanshan district, news of major layoffs from big companies emerged again. The whole society has entered a cold winter. The biggest news today is seasonal layoffs, cutting off all non-online projects and large-scale layoffs. It is said that completing the layoffs today will receive compensation plus additional benefits. The layoff wave in Shanghai perfectly reflects a harsh reality. What people fear most is not hardship or setbacks, but the agonizing wait. Even though the pandemic has passed, and the economy seems to be improving on the surface, many people are posting complaints online about being laid off. In major cities like Starbucks, McDonald's, and KFC, the restaurants may appear full, but the customers are actually middle-aged individuals busy applying for jobs online. In some companies in Shanghai, employees are even pressured to resign, and refusing to do so may still result in being forced to leave. Some companies go to the extent of intentionally enticing employees to resign. It's essential to understand that for an ordinary person, establishing a stable life in Shanghai is quite challenging. Many individuals in Shanghai may live with high mortgages, car loans, or expensive rents. As long as people work in Shanghai, they face fixed monthly expenses of at least several thousand yuan. For those who have families, the pressure is immense. Once you surpass the age of 35, finding a job may not be difficult, but securing a good job is incredibly challenging. Even if you lower your expectations, there's no guarantee of success because major companies in Shanghai are undergoing massive layoffs. Despite the bustling streets and apparent prosperity, most people are either unemployed or working as gig economy participants, such as ride-sharing drivers. Companies also convert year-end bonuses and equity benefits, providing some money even for those staying at home. Landlords have run out of surplus, and even in this big environment, they are not making any more trouble. The more they make trouble, the less money they get. In an economic downturn, the trend of emptying 6 wallets to buy a house, popular in the past, has diminished. People are living in the present. They eat and drink what they need. After all, there are quite a few news reports about foreclosures and auctions. Although tourist attractions seem crowded this year, a friend doing business in a scenic area says that there are significantly fewer tourists, and their spending power is weak. People focus more on participation in tourism. The factory workers still in service in Foshan, Guangdong, express concern. The entire factory has no work. Has our factory closed again? There is nothing to do in the factory this month, and we have had 6 days of continuous holidays. I have never seen the workshop so quiet. There is almost no work, and the machines have become decorations. There are hardly any orders for pigs. There are many empty containers in the ports, even in major ports such as Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. Recent rumors about foreign trade being very sluggish are continuous. What is the problem with foreign trade? Data shows that China's overall foreign trade orders have declined by 40% this year, and some traditional products have even dropped by 2-3. Many containers cannot be shipped out and are piled up in the ports. This situation was rarely seen before. Many export-oriented enterprises in the Yangtze River Delta have not resumed production since the beginning of 2023. Instead, they have downsized or halted recruitment. This is due to reduced orders, a lack of business, and the consequent reduced need for as many employees. In Shanghai, a 30-year-old female engineer was laid off, and the company compensated her with 140,000 RMB. Initially, she was happy because, after a year of hard work, she wasn't sure she could save that much. Moreover, she had been working in an exploitative manner, working overtime until 1 or 2 in the morning, often worrying all night about potential issues. She had thought about quitting directly, and now she finally felt relieved. However, after taking a break, she found that her resume submissions were like dropping a stone into the sea. She began to feel anxious slowly and couldn't sleep at night. It's been over 3 months since she became unemployed, and the compensation she received each day doesn't feel like it can support her for much longer. The job market is tough. The next person, a graduate from Tsinghua University, shared, "I got laid off." To make others believe he graduated from Tsinghua, he even showed his certificate. "I graduated from Tsinghua in 2022. After graduating, I found a job at an internet company in Beijing. Then, in the first half of this year, I got laid off. Before this happened to me, I always thought that getting laid off was far from me, but I didn't expect it to be so close. The day I got laid off was in the morning. We were working normally the day before. Suddenly, I saw a message in the company group saying that everyone should attend a meeting at 10 in the morning. I felt something was wrong because we never had such impromptu meetings. Moreover, it required everyone to attend. When I went to the company, I found that something was indeed wrong. The news of the layoffs was announced directly in that meeting. Then I turned to look. Seeing that Foxconn has been laying off workers, factories in various regions have begun to strike back. Riding for 5 days, 8 hours, with double pay on weekends, this work schedule strictly adheres to labor laws, revealing the real working hours of Chinese workers. If all factories in China follow this schedule, it could improve the working hours of workers and at least help them maintain a stable life. A boss of a clothing factory in Guangdong sadly stated, "This year's clothing factory has ended like this. When I sold my equipment one by one, when I threw away piles of raw materials, when I sold all the equipment to pay off debts, I realized that it was truly over. My efforts in this lifetime were ruined in an instant." What lies ahead? As the year-end approaches, the world's factory is in dire straits. Many large factories have closed down in the second half of this year. On June 30th, a printing factory in Dongguan Daojiao named Minghai Jingnan Factory announced a complete shutdown. The next day, August 21st, Zhenguan Precision Technology Limited Company in Dongguan, Tangxia, with a registered capital of 30 million, also announced its closure due to long-term losses caused by market conditions. On September 28th, Mingxing Jinan Hardware Products Limited Company in Dongguan, Hunan, declared closure after 21 years of establishment. This is just a small fraction of the closures. Many small and medium-sized factories have faced a similar fate. The closure of these companies not only affects individual enterprises, but also impacts the entire ecosystem around them, such as restaurants, clothing stores, barber shops, and other related industries. The ripple effect results in a decline in business for all the interconnected businesses. Moreover, the closure of these enterprises affects the entire supply chain, leading to a chain reaction with many upstream and downstream suppliers. In the face of so many closed factories, the larger issue lies before us. The first problem is that the closure of these enterprises is just the surface of a single enterprise. The ripple effect is the ecological impact around this enterprise, affecting surrounding industries such as catering, clothing, barber shops, customer shops, tourism, and more. If people leave the area, how can businesses continue? The second problem is the impact on the supply chain of the closed enterprises. Because a large enterprise supports many supplier manufacturers, the chain reaction will lead to the closure of many companies. So, what is the future of China's manufacturing industry? If one can't make money in big cities, who would be willing to leave their hometown? The company might let me go, more precisely. They seem to want to force me to resign because I have been an old employee in the company for 6 years. If they lay me off, they have to compensate me with 60 to 70,000 yuan. From the company's perspective, they think it's not cost-effective. The best solution is to force me to resign voluntarily. When I sensed something was wrong, I secretly sent out resumes. I applied to dozens of companies, but none of them called me for an interview. Is it because my requirements are too high? In Shenzhen, a medical technology company has issued 2 notices of leave, including the list of personnel on leave for Zili and Pingshan. However, the duration of this leave is chilling, from July of this year to May of next year. Many employees are still in the company, thinking they are working, but they received the longest leave notice in the country, a 10-month leave at once. Truly a crying laughter. This company is called Shenzhen Huamai Xinwei Medical Technology Limited Company, established in 2014, specializing in medical health diagnostics. The reason given by the company is insufficient orders, financial difficulties, and the decision to reduce personnel expenses and alleviate operational pressure through an extended leave of absence. This situation has been verified by the company, and some people have already been on leave. The company has no money for compensation, but this leave is compliant. I wonder if more companies will follow suit in this compliant leave, laid off again. In the afternoon, the boss called the remaining 4 employees for a meeting, indicating that it's over and everyone is dismissed. After finishing work, the boss called us into the meeting room and then settled this month's salary for us, but without compensation. Except for me, who has been here for only a month, other employees basically came in July. They have already become regular employees, but their compensation is just 1 month's salary. This is the resignation certificate. Originally, it stated that I resigned for personal reasons. I asked why they want to write personal reasons instead of the company's reasons. How can I find another job with this? He said, if I don't write personal reasons, write company reasons, what if you report me? In the end, he didn't write either personal or company reasons. He just removed it. Within a week, including supervisors, HR, front-end, and back-end staff, a total of 9 people were all cleared. I spent 31 days in this company, considering it as a 1-month tour in Wuxi's city center. This company was flourishing at the end of the year, but now, just in December, the old fortune has gone, and this winter is likely to welcome one of the most severe financial challenges in nearly a decade. This time, whether it's a head enterprise or a struggling small and medium-sized enterprise, everyone may find it difficult. Just at the end of November, the heart and the season can only have one beat. But some internet companies are slashing their game business, and the most affected area is the Shenzhen team. This company's approach emphasizes the speed of Shenzhen. In the morning, the radio station announced, and in the afternoon, the company rolled up its sleeves. The netizens' comments were funny. This company is known for its rapidity in Shenzhen. In the morning, the radio station announced, and in the afternoon, the company rolled up its sleeves. The netizens' comments were funny. This company is known for its rapidity in Shenzhen. The staff was notified to take a leave of 10 months, with the compensation plan being N+1. At the same time, the year-end bonus and equity will be settled. At least there is no problem with the creditor's rights, which is considered dignified. This cold wave is also spreading to other big companies. Didi is also undergoing a comprehensive layoff, and 30% of the people will become unemployed in this cold winter. Recently, every employee of Didi Chuxing is panicking, afraid that their name will accidentally appear on the layoff list. This round of layoffs almost covers the entire company, with an overall layoff rate reportedly as high as 20%. I also looked at Didi's financial report. In the first 3 quarters of this year, Didi accumulated a loss of $1.485 billion. If this round doesn't work, next year may continue to be challenging. Of course, not only private enterprises, even foreign and state-owned enterprises are taking action. Xinhua 3 Group also proposed voluntary salary reduction. Who is Xinhua 3? It is the core enterprise under the Tsinghua Uni Group, a high-tech technology enterprise. However, recently, it has also started to devalue. First, it called for voluntary salary reductions at the top level, and after the salary reduction, it continued to intensify its efforts to lay off employees. After talking about private and state-owned enterprises, even the cadres of 985 universities are also being laid off. Xigong University, a 985 university, is also mobilizing and deploying recently, planning to reduce institutions, cadres, and management personnel by more than 10%. If universities are taking such measures, what kind of job security can people in other industries expect? Let's look at a set of data. Before 2022, the total financial scale of the top 50 real estate companies reached 200,000 people. Jinggrui, Yuzhou, Yangguangcheng, and Zhongliang are all severely affected areas, not to mention those that have already encountered problems. In addition, this chart on the internet has compiled the layoff situations of several mainstream companies. Looking at all these, it can be said that this winter may be long and cold. In contemplating the future of China's manufacturing industry, the pervasive question arises: what lies ahead for a nation grappling with the simultaneous challenges of economic restructuring, corporate layoffs, and a changing global landscape? The profound implications of this winter of economic challenges extend far beyond individual stories, reflecting a broader narrative of societal shifts, economic recalibration, and the collective resilience required to weather the storm.